The Hollywood Foreign Press is shutting down. Now, some of you may not know the name, the Hollywood Foreign Press, but they are the organization behind probably the second most popular, certainly not the second most important, but the second most popular awards show of the year, the Golden Globes. And the Hollywood Foreign Press has been the organization behind that. And I've maintained for many, many, many years that the Hollywood Foreign Press is completely useless. They're absolutely, completely useless, as is their award, the Golden Globes. Now, the main reason I've always said they're useless is because let's compare it to the Oscars. The Oscars is voted on by 8,000 plus voting members of the Academy who are members of the film industry. They're actors and writers and directors and cinematographers and executives and all this sort of thing making up the voting board of the Academy. When you get an Oscar, you're getting an Oscar awarded to you by 8,000 plus of your peers, people who work in movies and in film. The Hollywood Foreign Press, on the other hand, has been an organization primarily made up of about 75 people. They've increased the number a little bit in the recent year or two, but around 60 to 80 people at any given time who do not work in film, but rather they are film journalists who live in Southern California, but work for outlets that are outside of the country. How that figures out, I don't know. And one of the big reasons that this is a problem is because not only in getting a Golden Globe are you getting a Golden Globe from 60 to 70 nobodies, you are literally getting an organization that, let's say there's 80 members of the Hollywood Foreign Press. You take 20 of them on a trip to Greece and wine and dine them on a certain thing. You've literally just greased 20%. 25%, actually, for 80 members, 25%, that's a quarter of the voting body. You just bought yourself a Golden Globe. Whereas if the same thing is being applied to the Oscars, the Academy, taking out 20 people, you've literally just influenced 0.25% of the voting body. It's been outrageous. Now, a while ago, the Los Angeles Times printed a scathing article on the Hollywood Foreign Press, exposing the fact of a lot of the corruption has been going on, a lot of the ways that awards have been bought and sold, again, because the voting base is so infinitely tiny that it's easy to influence, but also the fact that the Hollywood Foreign Press not only had no black members in it, but hadn't allowed in a new black member in over 20 years. And that sort of controversy spurred people like Tom Cruise, who has won a couple of Golden Globes, to literally pack them into a box and FedEx his Golden Globes back to the Hollywood Foreign Press, saying return to sender. And a lot of people on NBC dropped them for a while. They came back. But now the news has come out today. This is out now, headlines everywhere, that the Golden Globes have been sold to the Dick Clark organization that run the big New Year's Eve parties and things like that. And that the HFPA, is shutting down. This comes from the folks over at Deadline who write this. Dick Clark Productions and Eldridge said Monday morning that they have acquired all the Golden Globe assets, rights, and properties from the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, turning the Hollywood Awards show into a commercial enterprise. As a result, the HFPA, the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, and its membership, which have handed out the awards, will shutter. With proceeds from the transaction and the existing resources of the HFPA, the new owners will launch the Golden Globe Foundation, which will carry on the HFPA's entertainment-related charitable giving. Now, the one thing I will say for the Hollywood Foreign Press is that over the years, they have had a rather robust charitable arm to their thing. They've been a nonprofit organization, and give credit where it's due. They've done some good work. I think over the last number of years, they've donated something like $45 million to various charities. So good on them. Again, full credit where it's due. But this is an organization that's completely useless. And as my dad used to say, Mr. Campea would say, they're as useless as tits on a bull. Which there's an image in your head to think about. Now, the sale of the Golden Globes is a good thing. All right. Because the one thing you can always say about the Golden Globes is this: maybe the awards are useless. Maybe they're really coming from people that don't matter. But man, they put on a good show. As critical as I have been of the Golden Globes and how useless they are as an organization and how their awards are pretty much nothing but a paperweight, even I have had to agree that over the years, like the years Ricky Gervais hosted, the years that Amy Poehler and
Tina Fey.
Tina Fey, thank you. Tina Fey and Amy Poehler have hosted. I mean, they have really put on a good, entertaining show. Let all the celebs in early, give them dinner tables, and put a couple of drinks in them. And it's just kind of a nice, relaxed, really good show. So I'm glad that the Golden Globes are surviving. But it raises a very interesting question. Okay, the Dick Clark Company now is going to run the Golden Globes. And they say they're going to have this year's Golden Globes in January 2024, although right now they don't have a network to broadcast it. The one-year deal with NBC, which shortened their lease after all the controversies, is up. So they're saying that they are in talks with broadcasters right now for somebody to carry and broadcast the January awards. But here's the bigger question. Who exactly is giving out Golden Globes now? Because, like I said, the Oscars, 8,000 actors, directors, writers, producers, executives, working film professionals, they are the ones voting on and giving out the awards. Say what you will about the Hollywood Foreign Press, but at least they had that. The Golden Globe is being presented by 60 to 70 to 80 members of entertainment press who happen to live in California but work for outlets outside of the US. I mean, that's kind of insignificant, but it's something. So one of the things that I have not seen in any of the coverage of this story is, okay, the Golden Globes will continue. Who's giving them out? Who's voting on this thing? Is this going to become another viewer voted on useless piece of trash award?
And you can call in multiple votes.
Oh, that's...
People will just keep putting in multiple votes.
Just keep dialing 1-800-565 fuck it. That's the number you call. And you got to pay 75 cents per call and keep dialing and keep voting for freaking Twilight Part 7.
I love those award shows where it's like, you don't just call in and give one vote. You can just keep paying.
You
so
can keep
whoever
calling.
pays the most, that's who's going to win.
And that's one of my frustrating things about any voter-based, like public voted-based things like the MTV Movie Awards or whatever, is because you literally have people voting on Best Movie of the Year that have maybe watched 3 movies that year, at any rate. You'd think almost anything could be better than the Hollywood Foreign Press, but maybe not. Again, maybe the Dick Clark Company has a fabulous plan in place. Maybe they're going to put some kind of organization together every year, create a voting board, a jury, if you will, with some respected, notable people. I don't know, but they got to come up with something because, again, at least the Hollywood Foreign Press was behind the Golden Globes. Now I don't know who's voting on them. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, ExpressVPN. Guys, it is 2023, and online privacy and security has never been more important. You see, every device, phones, computers, tablets, has a unique IP address, which is like an internet phone number and reveals personal information about you. It's super simple for somebody online who knows what they're doing to find your IP address. If you've ever clicked on a sketchy link or opened an email from somebody you don't know, your IP address could become exposed. Now that's where ExpressVPN has your back. ExpressVPN is an app that hides your real IP address and replaces it with a dummy one, keeping you safe and private. And you don't have to be some kind of techie to use a VPN. Guys, it is so easy to use. Just download the ExpressVPN app on your phone or computer, tap one button to turn it on, and you're protected. And if you like your streaming entertainment, here's the coolest part. They let you choose what country you want your IP address to look like it's coming from. This is incredibly useful because services like Netflix and Disney Plus give you different shows depending on what country you're in. So secure your family's online activity and unlock tons of new shows by visiting expressvpn.com/Campea. Use my link and you can get 3 extra months free. That's expressvpn.com/Campea. Go to expressvpn.com/Campea to learn more. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? The Hollywood Foreign Press is shutting down and the Golden Globes are being moved over to Dick Clark, and I don't know who's going to vote on them anymore, but there is going to be coming a show in January and we'll see what it's all going to look like. Whatever you guys think about this whole thing, jump on down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks for checking out our video. Make sure you click the thumbs up button on it and subscribe to our channel. Also, don't forget that we do a daily podcast called the John Campea Show Podcast. Go and subscribe to it today on your favorite podcasting app of choice.